everyone, and welcome to a new series I am doing on my channel called Character Files. This series is for working on exactly what the title says, my character files. That will mean working on a different range of things for each character, such as ref sheets, wardrobes, plot drawings, buildings, locations, weapons, and I will even include some of my original YCHs into the mix. I will be posting character files every Tuesday, so have notice on. If you are interested in looking at the character's Toy House page, it will be linked below. If you like my character design content, but want longer versions, this may be a perfect fit for you, but do let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will try my best to make this series as fun and productive as I can. Enjoy! Alright everyone, the character we are working on today is Murica. But before we dive into today's drawings and character work, let me break down what we are working on and the tasks that are for today. We are going to first draw Murica a new ref sheet with a front and back view, then finish an old drawing of him and Bex, draw him and his sister Sonja interacting, design him a feral lion design, animate him in my Kawaii Attack YCH, finish the For You Animatic I started, and then update his ArtFight page and make him an UnVale profile. Once we are done with all that, I will be adding all this to his toy house and making it look pretty and organized. As we go along, I will be explaining each task and why it is important, so let's go ahead and start with Murica's ref sheet. Alright, now Murica's number is 71 on my character list and is a character I've had for a really long time. In my mind, him and Lightning are almost brothers. Lightning is the character we talked about in my first character file if you didn't see it, but they are both similar in many ways, both having similar nose shapes, eye shapes, and silly unique hairstyles. Just by looking at them, I can tell I originally designed them definitely in the same time frame. Murica's first file, traditional and digital, dates back to June 6th, 2018, which is 40 days before Lightning was created. The oldest file of Murica being this traditional sketch I did, and then I turned it digital. I'll put both of them up on screen. He honestly hasn't changed too much from this. My style has just developed more, but his colors, for the most part, are very close to the original digital file. But through the years, Murica has gotten a decent amount of art, definitely less than he deserves in the first few years I had him, but I have definitely gotten more attached to him over time. 2023 was a big year for him since this was the first year I did art with him and Bex. I animated them both in the Still Here meme, which I will share the video. I can't put the audio for copyright reasons, but it is on my channel if you would like to go see it. However, that was Murica's first bigger piece, and was the first time I had animated him ever, and it is actually the only bigger animation I have ever made for him, but it was in 2023, so in my mind it hasn't really been that long. After I do an animation for a character like that, I tend to wait a while before animating them again. This is mostly due to me trying to get all characters more work, but also I'm bad at finishing projects. But we are going to add more animation in today's character file, so we are making steps in the right direction. Murica's first ever ref sheet was made in 2020, and I'll pop it up on screen for you. We will not be changing much on Murica's design, but we will just be making it a bit more bolder. Since he has an out there character, we might as well update his design to fully reach that potential. His hair will be getting a little bit more fuller. This way we can really captivate that lion part of him, which reminds me to tell you, he is actually part lion. I know he doesn't scream that in his design, but that is because only a small percentage of him is actually lion. I intended for that to be his reality. I have thought about changing it, but I really just love the way he is, so we're going to keep it that way. The only other thing we will be doing to his design is making his blush marks bolder and making the stars and particles larger and more distinct, also adding some to the bridge of his nose. He will also be getting a new iris in his eye, making it a white circle rather than dead black. Also going to add fangs to, again, look like a bit more like a lion. Murica is definitely a KateKruzan character. His red and blue palette, his patriotic theme, it's very on brand for me, and Murica definitely holds his own little spot in my heart. Although I need to start experimenting with male hairstyles more. I feel like Murica and Lightning, their hair is so unique, and I haven't made any characters recently that match that level. So we need to add male hairstyles to the Kate needs to practice list, and we will file it right under shoulder anatomy, because lately my brain has just like shut down every time I go to draw shoulders or arms, or frankly anatomy in general. I have definitely put off drawing his ref sheet for like so long. I just tend to worry about ruining my favorite characters, especially when they are older. When we were working on Lightning, I mentioned old character syndrome, a feeling where no matter how you draw the character, it feels it doesn't look right, because your brain expects to see it in your old style, which very much can apply to Murica, but I think I did a great job at updating his design. I still feel some things are off, but I also felt that way about Lightning's ref sheet, and I really like Lightning's ref now, so I have given it time and space. I'm sure I'll feel the same way about Murica. However, this is still better than the 2020 ref sheet. But let me know what you think on his current design in the comments. Feedback is very helpful. Alright, on to our sketch with Bex. Now, since this is an old sketch, I don't expect that the face structures on both of them will be perfect. I also don't want to resketch it because I just like the sketch. I don't know, I like it. But I will make some small adjustments so it does look better, but I will say they both look a little off in this picture. However, that doesn't stop me from absolutely adoring it. It was a very relaxing drawing session for finishing this. I will say, when I first sketched it, I just didn't want to finish it, but I'm glad I waited. It was very fun. I don't think I would have had as much fun then as I did now. The only thing that was tedious was just trying to fix the character's anatomy, but I also didn't expect it to be perfect because, again, it's an older sketch. Now let's talk about Bex. Bex's character number is 150. Believe it or not, I'm actually not the original designer of Bex. Bex was made by a user on Instagram. I followed them for a very, very long time, and they were my favorite artist on the platform. Unfortunately, one day when I went to look at their account, it just wasn't there. I believe they went by Belly Flop Tuesday. I have two other characters designed by them, which is my character Deliza and Jerry. But I changed them much more than I changed Bex. But regardless, if anyone knows anything about that artist and where they went, I would love to know. I always have art and I want to tag them or link them or give them credit, and I'm like, I have nothing to credit because their thing's gone. So I'm like, well, that sucks. Anyway, the way I got her was this artist had posted on their story asking for prompts for character design. I suggested something along the lines of patriotic snow cone girly. That, or it was like a set of emojis that I submitted. I don't remember. But they designed Bex and posted her for $5. And of course I had to jump on that. She was exactly a KateKruzan character to a T. So that's how I adopted Bex, and I love her. I have loved her ever since. The best $5 I have ever gotten my dad to spend, which is so funny. I didn't have PayPal at the time, so I asked him if he would get her for me. Definitely won Father of the Year for that. He actually bought all 3 of the characters I got from that artist, which, come on, he is a good man for that. But it wasn't until 2023 I paired her up with Murica. I didn't even know if I wanted them to be a couple because I figured it would be kind of boring for the 2 patriotic characters to be paired together. But then I realized that that's stupid and they're perfect together. So here we are. Plus those 2 will definitely not be my last patriotic babies. Your girl loves red and blue. They're not going to be the last. I have definitely developed Bex's character very well. She is just such an icon. While doing this drawing, I also went ahead and made a pattern page, a brush for Bex's pattern. That way in the future, if I want to do some stress-free drawings of her or just sit and draw for a bit and draw her character, and I don't want to have to draw the pattern, I have, something I can just use. That, or sometimes I do a drawing and I don't want to put that much effort into it to finish it, but I want to finish it. I have something that will save time and just help me finish stuff rather than procrastinating just because I don't want to draw a pattern. But that was very helpful and I'm glad I got that done. Which does remind me that one of these days I do need to sit down and figure out if I can make a pattern brush for Murica. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. Maybe I just need to do like a transparent picture of his star, like that goes on his shoulders or elbows. Just do the star on a transparent thing with the particles around it, just to make it easier for me, you know. I think that'd be a good idea. If I had thought about doing that while I did this character file, I probably would have done it, but I didn't think about it. And here we are, but I need to write that down on the to-do list. So we've got male hairstyles, anatomy, and now adding brushes, which kind of a good list. Plus, also when you have like characters where you have like their patterns like on a separate transparent file, I can use that in animations. I can use that in the back of their drawings. I can use that in like so many other things that just like help me make decisions quicker. It's so helpful. I honestly recommend that people do that with their characters. They save like I don't know, the symbols on their shirts, or like even my character on screen, like the sweater on my sprite. I used a brush to do that. It saves so much time, and then I can also use that for backgrounds, other stuff. And sometimes when I'm designing a new character, I use a brush pattern I've used for another character. It's just, you can't make it up. It's just easy. Anyway, this is the drawing. I really love it. I don't know, it's just cute. Even if it's got plenty of flaws and like anatomy wise, Murica's off, like his head's too long, his body doesn't fit very well. I just really like it. I also really love that the background makes it look like a Valentine's Day card. It's just overall really cute, and I'm glad I came back to finish this. Now for the drawing of Murica and Sonja. Sonja is actually a recent-ish character. She actually had her own character design. I believe it was day number 40. This was last year, 2024. It is a new year, so it has been a little bit of time. She was a redesign of an old traditional doodle I did. The doodle was red and blue markers. I'll pop it up on screen. I believe I was testing these brush pen markers. I know like I did not like them, and I actually didn't like the little doodle at the time. Since it's been a long time and like this is my old style, I do have a little place in my heart for it, but like obviously it does have flaws. The earliest time I can date this back to is June 10th, 2019, but I have no idea how accurate that date is, but it definitely was probably 2019. Just not sure if it was June. However, I took that doodle and I redesigned it to be Sonja. You know, we love her. She's great. She's a great redesign. She is one of my favorite redesigns, and I think I did a great job. But she is going to be Murica's older sister. When I told Chrissy this, she actually didn't think that made sense and thought it was a terrible idea, which is frankly making me double down on the idea, and it's now canon. Since Murica is part lion, so will Sonja be. And I actually think that fits her design, oddly enough, since her nose is more snoot-like and her hair is rather thick. But again, they are a very small percentage of both of them are part lion. Sonja even less than Murica. But I love the idea of Sonja being older than Murica, being the older sister type. They just have a very wholesome and cute relationship. For this drawing, I thought it would be fun to have Murica carrying Sonja on his shoulders, him looking up at her with a big smile, and her just having fun. I love this drawing because it also shows the trust Sonja has in Murica. She is just up there not worrying about if she might fall, which frankly is exactly what I would be worrying about in that situation. I remember when I was little, my dad, we were going to Walmart, or just a store. I think it was Walmart. We were going inside a store, and I don't know if I asked to be on his shoulders or he looked at me and was like, "You want to be on my shoulders?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then he put me up there, and I immediately hated everything about it. I'm like, "Get me down. Get me right down right now." To be fair, my dad, very tall, and I don't like heights. I don't know what part of me thought that was a good idea, but I immediately did not like it. And I will say, like, I love how I captured their faces. I think I drew them like the exact way I want their characters to look. I think it just captures them to a T. I think this is actually the second time I've drawn Sonja. The first time was for that character like design, like redesign her ref sheet. That was the first time I drew her. This is the second time. I guess the first time would technically be that sketch doodle I did. But like I would count this as the second time. And I think I just captured their faces to a T. I'm so happy with it. And now I can like look at this as like a good reference to just draw them and capture their and it just captures their energy so well. Anyway, I really like it. But for this drawing, I actually didn't think Murica's anatomy would fit very well, like his shoulder placement, because I did talk about earlier, I've been having such a hard time with anatomy and shoulder placement, but I actually got it together for this drawing. Round of applause. Good job, me. I really pulled it off. I think I did a good job, and it's not looking janky. I think it looks good. I just cannot say the same for past me. She has messed up a lot. Although I will say Sonja's arms do look a little suspicious to me. I actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out why they look so suspicious. But I never could figure it out, and I'm still not sure. If anyone wants to be like, this is what's wrong with it in the comments below, feel free to humble me, but I can't figure it out. Another thing I like about this drawing a lot is the canvas shape. I think it's funny when I just draw canvases that are like really tall just for no reason, or just canvas shapes that are, so I draw canvas shapes as a square. So when I do anything that's not it, I'm like, this is the height of luxury. But I think it's really cool. And I also really like the background. This drawing is really great. I really like it. Anyway, this is the drawing. I really like it. It's really cute. It's really good. I'm very happy with it. And they are now canonically brother and sister. And I'm so happy that that is something that I have agreed in my brain that is a thing. Editor Katie here. My sprite for some reason stopped working in this section of the voiceover. So if my sprite, like when my sprite's not moving or talking, like my bad. I really don't want to re-record that whole voiceover, so just bear with it. Thank you. Oh. Now for Murica's feral design. In my comic, I want to have a character that can turn anyone into a feral design, or feral characters turn into anthro designs. This character is my mini-me cat. He will have that ability to just turn characters, into feral or anthro. But this means I would need to make an alternate design for all my characters, or at least the ones that are going to appear in my comic, which are pretty much all of them, which will take a bit of work. But I actually like this, especially since there are a lot of artists that only like drawing feral designs, or only like drawing anthro, or only humanoid. So this will allow people who like the character designs and want to draw them just a few more options they can pick from. This will also be good for ArtFight, because there are plenty of artists there that prefer drawing feral designs over anthro or humanoid. I also really, really like this. Oh, I hit my microphone, I'm sorry. I also really, really like this idea because I have a lot of comfort feral characters that mean the world to me, like Ruffle or Mellow, or especially Skunk and Jazzy. Those are characters that are like my comfort characters to a T, and like I will start weeping because I love them like so unbelievably so much. And a lot of people don't draw them because they're feral designs, and some people don't want to do feral designs. So I'm happy that I'll be able to do anthro designs of them, hopefully, and I'll be able to match them to a T, and they'll be just as much as a comfort character when they're anthro or feral, and other people would want to draw them, and I think that's so great, and we'll get some of the characters that I really, really love some more art. And also, we can get more appreciation for those characters because they deserve all the appreciation in the world. They're so cute. I have also, like in the past, did like art trade or did a trade with an artist and sent in Ruffle as a character I wanted them to draw, and I sent in their feral ref sheet, and they drew Ruffle as an anthro character, which it looked really good, and at the time I was really happy with it. And then over time I was like, I kind of felt sour to the idea because I'm like, this isn't what I asked them to draw. Like, it's good, but it's not what I wanted. It was just kind of like over time it like kind of broke my heart a little bit because I wanted them to draw my feral character Ruffle, and if I had sent them the anthro ref sheet, I'd have been totally fine, but I hadn't designed his anthro design that yet, and it kind of felt like they were kind of like taking away a moment like from my character by designing him his own anthro. I know they didn't have any bad intentions, but it kind of like ruffled my feathers, which is funny because they drew my character ruffle. But I just want to avoid that as much as I possibly can. I don't normally get like offended when people draw my characters like in a different way. It's very, 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 very rare. Like I've had people design like my mini me, like different AUs, and I love that. That's really cool. Like who was it? Someone did the Hello Kitty AU. Hold on, I'll look at it. Who did it? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, like I'll pop the picture up on screen, but Super Crazy did like a AU of my character as like my Melody from Hello Kitty. But I've had people like do different things with my characters that are more unique, but I don't know, I just felt like when people touch my comfort characters and make something that is like something that I was going to do, it just like, it makes me feel sick. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I have no problems with people doing whatever they want with my characters for the most part, but like there was just something about that I just, it made me feel ucky over time. So I want to prevent that as much as possible. Hopefully that's not discouraging anyone from drawing my characters. If you want to draw my characters, go for it. Like, do whatever you want. You know, I've sat here and thought about that interaction for like a little bit and wondering why it bothered me so much like over time that artist drew an anthro version of my character instead of a feral version. And I think it has more the fact to do with that I wanted them to do a feral design or draw them like normally like the Refsheet looks. I think that's why I have such a problem with it. Because if it were someone that just did it for like fun or like as like a fan of the character, I think I'd be more fine with it. I think it was just the fact that I clearly sent them a ref sheet of their feral design and then they just did like whatever they wanted. But yeah. But for this ref sheet, I'm going to plop down his face from his face ref, and side view I have already drawn of him to keep the ref sheets consistent and just save some time by tracing over it. All the colors for this ref will of course be the exact same as the original. I don't want to make any changes. And he of course will be a lion, duh. We will make his hair more shaped like a lion's mane, but leave half of it out like the original. It will, however, cover part of his neck, so under his chin he will have some fur. I will also be adding sets of 3 spiked furs. I tried to make it kind of match his stars, but I placed this on his cheeks, where his tail connects to his bum, and his joint points. What I mean by joint points are his shoulder, like his jaw, again his cheeks, like where his jaw connects in the joint, you know what I mean? And where his calf connects to his back thighs. I did skip elbow joints, I just felt like it'd be a little too busy there. But if you're doing a feral design and are unsure where to place some fur tufts, a safe bet is place them on their joints. But this design will just look as closely to his original, just on a little lion. And he will have a classic lion tail. I will also add a few stripes on it to match his shirt pattern. I thought maybe putting his clothing patterns on his feral design would be weird, but I just embraced the weird and have just kept it to that. I think it's more important to get the iconic normal look of Murica on this design rather than making it just his skin color and his star markings. Also, instead of putting stars on the back of his paws or hands, I made it on the palm of his paws and on the fingers of the paws themselves. And if you are interested, I offer feral ref sheets on my Ko-fi. I offer normal ref sheets too, but I offer feral ones if you want me to draw a ref of one of your characters. I'll link all YCHs that appear in this video in the description if you are interested. But I very much love how this turned out. I especially love the side view. I think it just looks really cute. The front view could use a little bit of practice, but it is still good. Alright, now the next thing we are going to work on is a very, very short animatic I started. It's very, very simple. This was originally sketched out a while ago, not too long ago, but like 2024. So like the digital drawing we did of Bex and Murica earlier, I do not expect the anatomy or face structures to be perfect to their updated ref sheets, but I will make adjustments to the best of my ability. This animatic just consists of like 5 drawings, so it really shouldn't take too long. I added this onto the list for today just so I could get it off of my work in progress shelf, you know, finish something for once. But if you want to go see the final, it should be up on my main channel already. I can't play the music and the audio here due to copyright, but if you want to go listen to it, you can go to my channel. I will also go ahead and pop like the whips above my sprite just so you can see like the step-by-step process I did. Just so you have something more than just the little speed paint to go off of, because I know it's a little hard sometimes when I'm working on animations or something to follow along. This one's probably a little easier because it's an animatic, but just for your entertainment or knowledge, I'll pop the whips up in the corner for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, we can at least talk about Bex and Murica's relationship. I'm not sure what location this will be at, but Bex and Murica will meet pretty much how the animatic shows. He greets her because, you know, Murica is just a friendly guy, and Bex is taken aback by him and trips and falls straight into his arms. I think this cliche is perfect for the two. It's just really silly and cute, and I think it fits them to a T. But throughout them knowing each other, Bex is trying to refuse the fact that she is head over heels for him. She almost gets angry at herself about the whole thing. Bex is a girly that values independence, and she is borderline toxic to herself about it. Her line of thought being if she is independent, she can't rely on anyone. This is mainly due to Bex's childhood. Although she doesn't remember everything about it, she does remember her mother being a terrible partner and role model. She was an alcoholic and a very violent one. This obviously influenced Bex and traumatized her. Now she struggles to trust people outside of her very, very small circle, and even the people in her small circle had a very hard time getting through to her. Bex and Murica's story and relationship focuses around Bex's struggle to let love in her life and feel truly safe. But in turn, it also focuses on Murica having to grasp that Bex is a damaged girly and he should take that very, very seriously. To try and be friends with Bex, Murica would do his best to pop into her friend circle and talk to her every chance he had. Slowly, Bex got a bit more used to having Murica around, but it was still very hard. Murica would often poke fun at her to try and make the situation feel more lighthearted, but this only made Bex more closed off, and eventually she breaks down in front of him and she finally opens up to him about her problems. It's kind of like the saying, you know, it only gets worse before it gets better. Murica obviously feels bad for every time he made a joke about it, and they both have a little heart-to-heart. And the whole scene ends with them both feeling closer, and the wall they had both been dancing around is finally gone. After that, they can finally start working on their true relationship. But that is all I have developed about them so far. I really like their story and, you know, the concept with it so far. I think it has the potential to hit home with a lot of people that find it hard to feel safe opening up to anyone. Also, if you have any animation memes, animatics that like you think would fit Bex and Murica, feel free to comment them below. Sometimes it's hard for me to find like specific animation memes that work with specific characters like Bex and Murica, but if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. Or you could just DM me on Discord privately if you don't want to comment it. That's fair as well, but I would love some feedback on that if you have any suggestions. But that is it. I'll go ahead and play the animatic in the back for you. Again, no audio due to copyright, but it is on my channel if you want to go see it. It is titled Falling For You, featuring Bex and Murica. I like it. It's not like the most like amazing thing I've ever done, but I'm glad I got it done. I'm glad I did something and added art to their pages, because that's what character files is for. Something I've also started doing is when I make an animation meme or an animation, I go ahead and I make an end card specifically with that animation so I can start using it in other videos like character files and stuff like that. So that was kind of fun that I did that. I don't know. I thought that was interesting and worth telling. Okay, so the very last art thingy we have to get done for today is Murica's Kawaii Attack YCH. This is one of my favorite YCHs to do, and it doesn't take too long to make. Again, if you are interested, I will link all YCHs or purchasable things in the description. Although I enjoy doing this YCH quite a bit, this one specifically for Murica was a little annoying to do just because I didn't want to work on it after finishing everything else. But we power through regardless. I also think this might be my favorite version I have done so far, which is surprising because I didn't really care for the process. There's just something about Murica's colors and this YCH that just work. I have gotten some questions about my tweening and how I do it, so I can give you some info, probably not a whole lot, but I first draw a sketch of the pose I want, then I break it down into smaller pieces of the character. Some advice I have specifically for that is only break down the things you need, especially if it is your first time tweening or you're a beginner. Start with something very, very small. Don't overwhelm yourself with a bunch of pieces at first if you don't really understand how to do the basics. But after I break down the rig, I pop it into my editing software, Sony Vegas 17 Pro. I use it for everything. I will probably use it forever. But I just tween it in that. I move the pieces slowly, just pretty how you would imagine it is how I edit it. You can also tween in For Alpaca. I've done it. Just pop on the onion skin layer. And you want to make sure you actually don't have a crazy amount of pieces for Alpaca if you're going to tween in it, because that is the biggest pain you could ever have, is having so many pieces in For Alpaca. But you just pop on the onion skin and move it. I would actually recommend doing keyframes and then in-betweens. Don't get your rig, all your pieces separate, and then slowly move every single one frame by frame. That is just, you won't get a smooth, well, you might be able to get smooth, but you won't get good animation out of that. And if you see a frame when you're doing in-betweens that's messed up and you just feel like, oh, I don't want to fix it or whatever, fix it. Because if one frame is off when you're going to tween in For Alpaca, everything messes up. If enough people are interested, I can make a video going through it thoroughly of how to tween in For Alpaca and then how to tween in Sony Vegas, if enough people are interested. But if no one's interested, I'm not going to do it because that would be a lot of work on my end. But if you're interested, leave a comment. Anyway, here is a final of the YCH. I'll let it play for you, but no audio due to copyright reasons, of course. I actually do like this. I very much love the background and the sparkles. I think it's really cute. I think it fits Murica to a T. I typically try to make the background, if I can, match the character, or if not, I'll just pop down a gradient or something that just looks good with the character. But if I can make it match to the character, I will. And the final thing we have to get done for today is just popping everything onto ArtFight and creating Murica an UnVale page. I'm not going to show you all the footage of me doing that because it's not very necessary and I don't really have much to say about it. Oh my word, I have 100 notifs on UnVale. Oh my goodness gracious. I have just been getting on UnVale and there's always a few people who favorite every single one of my characters and it's honestly impressive. But anyway, I went ahead and updated Murica's ArtFight page so it has his ref sheet, feral ref sheet, the pictures of him and Sonja, and then same goes for the UnVale page, but I pretty much added as much as I could to his UnVale page, everything I had. But that is it. Yeah, if you want to go look at Murica's ArtFight or UnVale page, it's linked on his socials on Toy House, so that is there. Thank you for joining me today with Murica's character file. I feel like we got a lot done on Murica. I don't know, I just feel like it was really successful. Let me know what you think in the comments if you like Murica's design, if you don't care for Murica. You probably didn't get this far into the video if you didn't like Murica, so I guess that question is probably irrelevant. But feel free to leave your comments below regardless. But thank you for joining me today. I had a fun time. I'm sorry this didn't go up on Tuesday but went up on Thursday. My computer was fighting me and it just wasn't happening. But thank you for being here. Seriously, I love you. You're the best. Bye.